So now for the first part, the last thing that we need to do is a special thing, which is uploading images. Okay, so for images we will be using a nice product by Theo. I don't know if you know Theo. He has like a text channel where he talks about mostly Next.js and React. So he has this product called Uploadthing, which is really awesome and makes it easier to work with images. So all you need to do is to go to uploadthing.com and then you'll create an account. And then right here, it's my dashboard and I have access to the docs. So I'll click on docs, and from the docs, you'll see we have getting started and we have Next.js, app, router, and pages. So you'll choose the one that you want here. And we are working with this latest version, which uses the app folder. The first thing that we need to do is to install Uploadthing and Uploadthing React. So I'll go ahead and click on that, and then we will install those dependencies. So Control J to pop the terminal and install those dependencies just like that. So as that installs, I'll come back right here, and we need to add an environment variable, which will be the Uploadthing secret. And if you don't already have Uploadthing secret key, sign up and create one from the dashboard. So I'll go back to the dashboard right here. So another thing that you might need to do is to actually create an app right here. Okay, so I already have this app which I had created before, so I'll just use this one. And from here you'll see that we have API keys. So if I click on API keys, I'll get the Uploadthing secret, this drive, and also this app ID. Okay, so I'll copy both of them. You can just copy like that, and then I'll go to the .env file and we will add these two keys. These are now from Uploadthing. Okay, so don't use mine. I'll be like changing them later or even deleting that app. So generate your own. Okay, go to Uploadthing, create an account, then create an app, and then you'll get these API keys which you can actually copy. Let's go back to the documentation right here. The next thing is to set up a file router. So we will go to app/API. We will create a folder called Uploadthing. Then we'll create this file called core.ts. So I'll copy this file. I'm just doing whatever is right here, and I'll come back to our app here. We need to go to app. We actually don't have the API folder yet, so we need to create one. So right here, I'll create the API folder. Inside the API folder, we will create another folder called Uploadthing. Okay, we hit enter. Now inside Uploadthing, we will create a file. So I'll add a new file called core.ts. I hit enter, and from here I'll paste whatever I copied from the docs. So we will just customize these a bit. So right here we have our imports. We have create Uploadthing and the type here. Then right here we create a reference to our function as f here. Then we have this auth, and we will actually remove this auth right here, and because we don't need that fake ID. This is our file router. I'll just go ahead and remove the comments, and actually I'll not change anything here. The image here will be 4 MB. In this case, since I'll be uploading only one image, I can add a limit here. So here I'll say max file count will be 1. That means that I'll only allow one file at a time, but if you want many, you can add your limit here like 4, 5, whichever you want. Now in here we have this function which is called the middleware, and here you can perform some authentication stuff and so on. We can get the user ID using the auth function from Clerk Next.js. So right here I can say const with the structure user ID, okay, will be equal to, I say auth. This will come from Clerk Next.js, and we invoke that. Now instead of checking of user here, we will check off user ID. So I remove that and I include user ID, and in case we don't have, we return unauthorized. Okay, I remove the comments again. Also here we have the return. We can just perform a return of the user ID. So this middleware here, it's just performing some authentication, and then right here is where the upload happens, and once it's complete, we'll say upload completed for this particular user. Then we'll console log that particular file. So we don't need to change anything right here, and actually I'll just remove all these white spaces and remain with just this uploaded by metadata user ID, then satisfies that. So this is all. We don't need to do anything else here. All we did is to just make sure that we have a user and added a max file count right there. So I'll save that file and I'll actually go ahead and close it. Now let's go back to the docs. Now right here we will create a Next.js API route using a file router. So we need to create a route.ts file inside Uploadthing, so that when we access this API at /API/Uploadthing, this route.ts will be the root, and then this will read us to this core.js file, which will actually perform the upload. So this is the structure that Uploadthing gives us, so we will go ahead and use the same. I'll click on this to copy the content, then we will go back, and at the root again of Uploadthing, we will add a new file called route.ts. In here, we'll paste the content and we save. That is all that we need to do in that particular file. One last thing that we need to do, we have set up environment variables, we have created core.ts, we have created route.ts. Now we need to set up an upload button, which we will do it at our add hotel form. So when we come back to the docs, we have this step which will add Uploadthing styles. So we need to wrap our tailwind config with this particular function. So let's do that. I'll copy this import. Then I'll come back to our code here, and let's look for our tailwind config. So tailwind config, and from here we'll go ahead and import this particular function. What we need to do is to wrap this particular object with this particular function. So what I'll do, I'll remove this module.exports is equals. We remove that, and then right here I'll say export default, then with ut, and I invoke it there, and then at the end of that object right here we will close it like that. So our save, I don't know why this shows once we add our with ut function, but I'm pretty sure we are supposed to do it like that, because we export default with ut, then your existing tailwind config content right here. Or can we pass it a string? But if we pass a string, the error goes. I'll go ahead and save that. Okay, the next step, let's just come back to the docs. It's to create an Uploadthing component. We can do it at utils, and it will look like this. Okay, so I'll copy the content, then they recommend doing it at utils. You can do it anywhere really. So we can do it right here at our components. So I'll just add a new file at the root. I'll say uploadthing.ts. From here I'll go ahead and paste my content, and we have a problem with importing our router right here. So what I'll do, I'll remove this and I'll say et. So just do that, create this file and import that. Make sure you change this to et. Awesome. So one last thing now is to actually create our button, okay, our upload button, which will be now at our add hotel form. Okay, so after this particular amenity, you'll skip 2 divs here if you are following the same structure as me, and then after that is where we will have a form field for our image. So right here I'll say form field, and it should be self-closing, right here we'll pass control to be form dot control. We will have name to be image. We will have render to be, so we pass curly brackets, and we usually pass an arrow function here that will accept field, just like that. And in here is where we will have our form item. So form item, this form item can have a class name, and right here we'll say flex, then we'll flex call, and we'll say space along the y-axis to be 3. Now in here we can have a form label, and we'll say upload an image. Another thing that we can do is that include a star for mandatory fields. So we can come back to the very top, and this is a mandatory field, so you can add a star, and they'll actually show an error message if they don't include that particular field. So hotel description is mandatory. Choose amenities is optional, so we don't include it. Let's come back to the very bottom, and we have added a form label of upload an image, and then here you can also have the form description, and we can say choose an image that will show -case your hotel nicely. Then after that we will have a form control, and right here is where we will actually be able to perform an upload of the image. Okay, now if we come back to the docs, you'll see when we did this, what we did, we exported an upload button, an upload drop zone, and this uploader. Now these will be components. So we will make use of upload button in this case, but if you also want to have a drop zone, you can as well use that particular component. So what we need to do is to import that button, and it will look something like this. Okay, so upload button, we will say endpoint is image uploader, and this button, since it comes from Uploadthing and we specify endpoint is image uploader, that will hit our core.js file. So core.js, you'll see this is what we specified here as image uploader. So if you happen to change this name, you must also change the name at our button right here for the endpoint. And then we have this on complete, where we will do some stuff, and on error we will do some stuff. Okay, so what do we need to do? I'll copy this upload button just like that. Then I'll come right here. So back to add hotel form right here, we will check if we have an image. Okay, so we'll say, do we have an image? If we have an image at our state, we will show the image here with a delete button. Else, what we will do, we will show that upload button. So I add some React fragments. So this is screaming because we currently don't have this state, but we can easily add it. So let's come back to the very top inside our add hotel form, and we can add the state for the image here. We'll say const image and set image, and we'll say this is equal to use state, just like that, and we invoke it. We can specify the types for this image. So we'll say string all undefined, and then right here we will add a default image. So if we have a hotel, we can actually get its image like that. So this image can either be there or not, and that is why right here we are performing a check. If it's there, we can be able to delete that image and upload a new one. If it's not there, we upload a new one. Okay, so right here for upload a new one, let's work on that one first. Right here I'll add a div, and in here is where I'll paste the button that we copied from Uploadthing. Okay, make sure to get it from /uploadthing. Okay, so that means that if I come right here, since we said from /uploadthing, it will get it from here. Okay, and when I save, it will auto format well, just like this. At this div, we can add some class name to nicely style this section, and I'll say flex hyphen column, then items to be at the center. Then we can have a max width for this particular section, and I'll say the max width will be 400 px. And by now I think we should be seeing something. Let's see. We scroll down and look, we already have this styling choose file, where we can actually choose a file and upload it to Uploadthing. So if I click here, you'll see we get to choosing an image. Right here, I'll add padding of 12, then I'll add a border dash 2, then I'll make this border to be dotted, so border dash dashed. Then I'll have the color for the border as border primary, then stroke 50, so it will not be completely white, rounded, and then margin to the top of 4, and I save. See what we have, and there we go. So we have a border around it. Very nice. So I want us to handle the state once we complete uploading the image. Okay, so here we have console log of the file, then here we have an alert. Instead of an alert, we will actually toast a message, and also we will set the state. So right here I'll say set image to be our response, and the image will take it from the first item of the array. So this response will be in form of an array of images that were uploaded. So I'll take the first item and I'll take the URL, and then right here I want us to toast a message for complete upload. Okay, we need to get that component from Shadcn. So I'll come right here where we have Shadcn, and we can search for toast, and you'll see we have this toast. I click on it and we'll see how we can make use of it. So right here, if I click add calendar, you'll see it has a toast down here. Okay, so we want a toast like that. So let's see the instructions of using this toast. First thing is to add it to our application. So I'll copy that with npm, come back here, and I'll actually add that, hit enter. Okay, I come back to the docs. Right here, we will need to go to our layout.tsx file, and we will import this toaster. So I'll copy that again. I'll go to app, then I'll go to layout, and we will import that right here. So we import toaster, and we need to include it right here inside our body. So after this theme provider, in here I can say toaster, just like that, and I save. I think that's all we need to do at layout. So if I come back, we can confirm we need to include it like this. Now I'll scroll down. Now once we do that, we'll have a variability of this particular hook, use toast, and we'll get a toast from there, and we can use that toast just like this. Okay, so let's go back to our add hotel form, and right here where we had state const, we will destructure toast, and we'll get this from use toast, from UI use toast, because we installed it just like that. And now we can make use of this toast at the very bottom right here, toast, and we invoke it. We pass an object. We will say variant will be success. We'll say description will be upload completed, just like that. We don't have this success. It's either a default, destructive, null, or undefined. But the good thing again with Shadcn is that these components are highly customizable. So we can actually go where we have it. So we go to UI and we look for toast. Components UI, then you can click on toast. Once you click on toast, you'll see this is the code for the toast. We have the hook here, use toast. We have toaster here. So we have all this for the toast. Right here, click on toast, and from the top, if you scroll down slowly, you'll get to this place where we have variant, okay? And you'll see variant here. We have default, destructive, and the default variant is set as default. So all we need to do is to add our own variant right here, okay? So right here, I'll add success as a variant, full colon. We can add the styles for these. We'll say border, then we'll say BG to be indigo. This is like purplish color or something like that of 600. And then right here I'll say let text be white. So as you can see, we can highly like customize this, and once I save, you'll notice that this error right here has disappeared, and now we have a custom toast for success with our own colors. So you can even use color green, color blue, whichever you want. Okay, cool. Now in case of an error right here, I'll also add a toast instead of alert. Let me remove that. I'll add this toast, and right here we'll say that the variant is destructive. We'll use backticks. We say error, then here I'll say error dot message, just like that, and I go ahead and save. Okay, very nice. We have completed this functionality, and we can test if we can actually upload an image. So let's test this. I'll come back right here to our app. We now have this section which we can use to upload an image, and I'll click on it. I'll choose one of the images. I'll go with this one, City Hotel, and I'll open, and look, it gives us all the stylings, even the upload progress, and it's uploading. Once it completes, let's see what happens. That section is hidden. Another thing is that I didn't see the toast message, so something is wrong, but I think the image was uploaded. We can confirm that by checking the console here, because you see we have files here and we have an array. If we expand, we have the name of the file, we have this URL for the image. The thing is, if you go to Uploadthing dashboard right here, we go to files, you'll see that this City Hotel was actually successfully uploaded. Okay, so it's right there, it's uploaded already, which is good. So now we need to fix this UI, because once we have an image and that image is set to our state, I want us to actually go ahead and show that image right here. Okay, so let's work on that. We had left this section for when we have successfully added an image. So let's go ahead and say a div here. We will have a class name. We will say relative, then max hyphen width will be 400 px, mean hyphen width 200 px. We will also set a max hyphen height of 400 px, and right here we'll set a mean hyphen height 200 px, margin to the top of 4. We'll say image right here. I'll say fill source will be image. This is now from the state. Let's import this image from next image, and then we will have an alt of hotel image, and then right here finally we can add a class name of object hyphen contain. We will add a button that deletes the image, so here I'll say button. We will have some state for when the image is deleting and when the image is not deleting. Let's add that state right here. I'll say const image is deleting, set image is deleting. We set this to be equal to use state, and we'll have a default state of false. So by default, the image will not be deleting. So we'll perform a check of whether the image is deleting right here. So if image is deleting, we will show a loader. So this will be an icon from Lucid React. So I'll take this loader 2, just like that, and then right here full colon. Else I'll show an X icon to show that you can actually remove the image, just like that. Now this button is complaining. Let's import it from UI button, just like that. And another thing is that we need to add some properties here. Type will be button, size will be icon, and then finally here variant will be ghost. Now to correctly position this button, we will have a class name. You see here we said relative, so here we will have absolute. It will be absolute to that. So absolute, we want it to be at the top right corner. So here I'll say right, and we'll actually say negative something, negative 12 px, and then right here we'll set top to be 0. One last thing that will remain right here is an on-click event, and for this on-click we will actually be deleting the image. So right here handle image delete, and we will invoke it, and we'll be passing the image like that. Now this handle image delete function does not exist, so right here we can actually go ahead and create it. So right here you can say const handle image delete will be equal to a function, just like that. And right here we will be accepting an image of type string, but for now we will not do anything. We'll come back right here and we will handle that. So I'll save that file, and if I come back, we have actually completed this section for displaying an image once we successfully upload. So I'll come back to our browser and see what we have. So we have choose an image. We can try to upload an image again. So I'll choose an image. Unable to get pre-signed URLs. Okay, the toasts are working. All I did is to stop the server and start it again. Nothing much I did. I didn't correct anything, but the toasts are now working. And that image actually seems to have an issue. I can't get to upload it. If I try to upload this one right here, open, let's see if it goes through. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we get this huge error here, and it is telling us invalid src prop at next image host name. This is not configured under image in your next config. So we haven't configured, since we are trying to show the image, we didn't configure this host name. So let's go ahead and configure it. So you just need to copy that name, and then you go to next config right here, and from here we will add a configuration for our images. So right here we'll say images, and previously we had like a domains array which we used to like configure, but that is now duplicated, and we have a new way of doing it, which is called remote patterns. So I'll add remote patterns array here, just like that. And right here you are supposed to add an object, and we'll have several properties. So we'll have protocol, and this will set it to be HTTPS, and then right here we'll have host name, and now here you'll paste whatever you copied, and also we need to specify maybe a port. In this case we don't have a port, so we'll just leave it as an empty string, and also we'll have to specify a path name, and in this case it will be stroke. Then we'll include this to mean that all paths are accepted as long as the host name is this and the protocol is this. We don't care much about the path. So we do that, and once we change the next config, I think we'll need to restart our application for everything to work out. Okay, so if I come back to the development server, okay, this is restarting. Let's see if it will auto restart here, but I doubt. We'll have to refresh. So I will refresh here. So we have this section again. Back here we upload an image. I don't know why this doesn't upload. All okay, I know the reason. It's big. It's 5 MB, but we allow 4 MB, so it's a big image. What about this one? This also is a big image, 5 MB. So that's why like they are not going through. So I'll go with the small images. So I'll open there, and this will upload that image. Look, we have a toast upload completed, and this toast was custom. That success toast, that is why it have that color. And we actually have this section, which I think it takes some time to show the image, but we actually have this X icon which can be used to remove the image. But we need to create an API route to actually delete this image from our upload thing. Okay, so the reason why we need to do this is so that prevent a lot of uploads in our upload thing. So the next step is to create an API route that can actually delete that image from upload thing. Okay, so I'll close this file and let's come right here and first work on this section. So we will work with an imaginary API route. So here we have image delete, which accepts an image as a string. And the thing is, if we check at our file here and we check the URL, you'll see it has all this stuff. But this right here is actually the key for the image. So you see this key, it's the same as this part of the URL, okay? And for us to delete the image, we will actually need to have that key. So the first thing that we will do is to get this key from our URL, okay? So that we can later use it to delete. So right here, I'll go ahead and set is image deleting. We'll say true. Then we'll have a const here and we'll say image key. And then we'll set this to be equal to, we will get the image, now this image right here, which we receive here, and we will use the substring, which is a string method. We will say image dot last index of, and right here we will use this as the separator there, and right here we'll say +1. Now we will make use of Axios, so we can go ahead and install Axios. So right here I'll say npm I and I'll say Axios. That will bring in Axios, and right here we will make use of that to make the HTTP request. So right here I'll say Axios, I'll say dot post, we invoke it. Right here we'll pass the API URL or API endpoint. So we'll say stroke API stroke, we'll say upload thing, and then stroke delete. And then right here we'll actually have the image key. So at the very top right here I'll say import Axios from Axios. Okay, the error is gone. Nice. So let's continue with this post request right here. So we are making a post request, but in this post request we'll actually be deleting the image, not like posting something. So right here we'll say dot then, and we'll get a response, and right here we can do something with this response. We'll check if response dot data was successful dot success is true. If that is true, that means that the image was successfully deleted. So in here we will reset the state. So we will set image to be an empty string, and then we will toast something. We actually made a mess here. So this is an arrow function, yes, but it should be inside these brackets. So make sure to wrap it like that. So we call dot then in there we pass this our function which have access to response. We check if it's success. If it's success, that means we have completed deleting, and therefore we reset the state. And then right here we can toast a message that we have successfully removed that image, and I'll save. You can use success, you can use default, and so on. So this is for a successful deletion. Then what if this process fails? So after this bracket of the dot then, where should it be? Right here we'll say dot catch. Okay, so here we pass an arrow function again, and in here all we will do, we will toast an error. So I'll copy that, I'll paste here, and I'll say that the type here is destructive, like the process failed. Then right here we can say something went wrong. Then here we'll have finally, and for finally we'll pass the arrow function just like that, and we will reset the state. So set image is deleting to false. And very nice, I go ahead and save. So this will make an API request or a HTTP request to this particular API. Let's create this API. So we need to go to API stroke uploadthing, then delete. So right here we'll go to app stroke API, and at uploadthing here we'll add a new file, not a file but a folder called delete. At delete we add a new file called route.ts. Now here we will work with uploadthing to actually delete an image from uploadthing. So we'll say uploadthing, ut means uploadthing API, will be equal to new uploadthing API. Again there we import it from uploadthing server. Okay, so we get the uploadthing API like that. Then right here we'll say export async function. Let's take this one. The name right here we'll say it's a post request that we are having here. So here we will receive the request. We can just say rec for short form, and this will be of type request. And then right here we can check if a user is logged in. So const user ID will be equal to auth. So we get that from Clerk and Next.js, and we invoke it. We check if we have this user ID. So if we don't have a user ID, we will not allow the deletion. So we will return a new next response. We invoke this and we'll say unauthorized like that. Then right here we'll include a comma and we'll say the status is 401, meaning unauthorized. Very nice. Now right here we'll get our image key. So here we'll destructure image key from our request. So right here we'll say is equals to await our request dot JSON. We invoke that, and by that we will get the image key from our request. Now right here we need to have a try and catch block. I can do like that. Then for the try we'll just say const response is equals to we await our uploadthing API to do its thing. So uploadthing API dot delete files, and right here we will pass the image key. Okay, so we have this method called delete files. We just pass the image key and that will delete the image from uploadthing. Then right here we will just return next response again dot JSON. We invoke it and we pass our response. Very nice. Now right here in case of an error we can say console.log of error at upload thing. So we do this for debugging stroke delete. And if you have like a logger, an online logger, you actually like log these errors there so that it's easy to debug production applications and so on. So here we'll go ahead and we return new next response, and we return an internal server error, just like that. And then at the very end here, we can have status to be 500, and that is our delete API. The major thing is to get these from Uploadthing and calling it like this. That is like the major thing here. We'll actually just go to the browser and test it since we are already making this call. Okay, so let's see if we can actually delete an uploaded image. We have this image here. Let me clear the console. And if I click here, it should start deleting the image from Uploadthing and it should remove it. And another thing, if I go to Uploadthing, right now I have several uploads and they might be of the same. So we have City Hotel, we have 4 of them. Okay, so we'll see if one of it will be removed. So we come back, we click on delete, and look, we have this loader which you can actually style to you can style it to actually rotate and so on, but it was deleted and it was removed from here. And if we go to Uploadthing, we can confirm they were 4, now they are 3. So our deletion is working, which is very awesome. And by that, we have concluded this section for uploading and deleting the image. We will be reusing the same logic when working with our rooms. Now the next thing that we will do is to work on our location right here, and then after that we will actually go ahead and upload our hotel in our database.